What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here with my full card predictions for UFC 324. We are finally back from this 6-week break. We made it, boys. We're here. We've got a badass fight card this weekend. We've got Justin Rufus Gaethje. Got Pazzi the Body Lad. Got Sugar Sean O'Malley. We got Song Yadong. We got Waldo. We got Derek Lewis. Believe Rose Namajunas is on the card. Gene Silva. I'm on the card as well. Atiba Gautier. Charles Johnson. And the rest are nobodies. Hey, man, I'm so excited to be back, dude. Let's get into this. Starting off, speaking of which, we've got Adam Fugitt versus Ty Miller. Dude, I don't want to overthink this. I'm just going to pick Ty Miller by fucking knockout. I was thinking of picking Adam Fugitt because he's only lost to like Michael Morales and Mike Malott and Islam Dulatov. Like, not bad losses, to be honest. And other than that, he is winning. So he could sneak a split decision here. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just going to like not overthink this. I'm not going to stress about these early fights. I'm going to pick Ty Miller to win this fight by knockout. He's kind of like a tall, lanky welterweight. He had a decision win on the Contender Series, but I think he's kind of an Apex NPC, to be honest. I'm sure he could probably beat Adam Fugitt. The dude is very old. His chin is probably cracked at this point from the fights with Michael Morales and Dulatov and all these other guys that have beat him. I'm just going to go with Ty Miller, dude. I am fencing this. I understand, but it is what it is, dude. Let's move on. We've got Ricky Turcios versus Cameron Smotherman. This is another one that I'm just going to be real. I don't give a fuck about. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to pick Cameron Smotherman to win this fight. He's lost to Ricky Simone in his last fight, whereas Ricky Turcios, this guy is... I don't know how he's still in the UFC, bro. Like, I'm just going to keep it a buck. He beat fucking Brady Heaston, which is actually kind of a good win in the bantamweight division. Other than that, his split decision win was just shadow boxing at range for 3 rounds. I don't really feel like this guy does anything crazy compared to the guys that have beat Cameron Smotherman. I'm going to say that Smotherman wins this fight by decision. I will say that about Turcios. He does lose by decision. He doesn't usually get finished, except for the Raul Rosas Jr. fight. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to pick Cameron Smotherman, dude. Let's get into some fights that I actually want to fucking talk about. Josh Hokit versus Denzel Freeman. I'm actually excited for this fight. I like that we have someone at heavyweight that is talking some shit, that is actually kind of athletic, right? And both of these guys, in my opinion, are actually decent prospects in the heavyweight division. In the heavyweight division, I need to stress that. I'm going to go with Denzel Freeman, dude. I know Josh Hokit's the favorite, and he has a little bit more hype on his name because he has those promos talking shit, doing the Chael Sonnen lines. I will say I did see a Jaden Cable interview with him that was actually kind of funny. I saw him break character. That was pretty cool. But I'm going to go with Denzel Freeman. I like that he has a reach advantage here, and I think he's a little bit more well-rounded than the other blobs that Josh Hokit has beat. Like, one thing that I don't like in this fight for Josh Hokit is he has a very short reach for how big he is. He kind of does have T-Rex arms. He's mainly a grappler and a wrestler. You'll see him kind of utilize a Colby Covington type of style. I know that that's from how he talks mad shit, but also the way that he wrestles and the way that he grapples. He just kind of hangs off the back body lock. He drags people down again and again until they wilt, and then he finishes them off with a sub or with ground and pound. He is coming off a KO over Max Jimenez in his last fight, but that's literally a jiu-jitsu guy with no stand-up whatsoever. And even he was hurting Josh Hokit with calf kicks. So I think that when you're going into this fight, yes, Hokit does train with Jackson Wink. He is kind of athletic. He's a former football player. But Denzel Freeman is also very athletic for a heavyweight. And I've actually seen Freeman defend takedowns. Like, all that Josh Hokit does against these blobs is just chase the single leg. The guy on Contender Series was literally just standing up tall, and Hokit was struggling to take him down in moments and kind of just landing kind of blob ground and pound. I don't think this guy is like a phenom of the heavyweight division. I think he can beat a lot of unathletic blobs, but I think Freeman has actually shown some decent athleticism. Hokit will mainly go for that single leg, and I feel like he will probably take down Freeman early on, but I've seen Freeman get taken down in other fights and get straight back up, and on the feet, I think he has a big advantage. He's got a big reach advantage. He's got very fast kicks as well. He trains with some pretty good guys out in Colorado at elevation. I think that he's going to land nasty calf kicks on Hokit. We've seen him really be bothered by those in his fights. I feel like Freeman can whip up some head kicks as well. I've seen him do that in a lot of fights. And I think that once Hokit gets an early takedown, but he can't just blob all over this guy, and they're forced back up to their feet either late in round 1 or at the start of round 2, I think Hokit's going to be a little bit fatigued, and Denzel Freeman's going to pick him apart with the striking, get a TKO. I can see him reversing position and getting a finish as well. I do think Denzel Freeman wins this fight. Let's move on to the headliner of the early prelims. I mean, dude, if there is not a more UFC 4, I'm making an Apex card, what am I going to throw on it fight, then fucking Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. I'm going to pick Hernandez to win this fight. I think that Michael Johnson is still pretty decent. He's still got his speed. He's got nasty boxing, big power in the hands. We know this as the Michael Johnson army. We all love Michael Johnson. We believe in the title run. And obviously Hernandez, he's coming off 2 flukes in a row against Chase Hooper and fucking... I'm just kidding, dude. But Chase Hooper, it's not that good of a win, but I think it is a decent guy to beat. And I think the Diego Ferreira fight is really what sold me on the fact that I think Hernandez is going to win this fight. I think Michael Johnson coming out there, he's going to be, he's sneaky, like he's still sneaky good. Like he's still quick. He pieced up Zellhuber despite a big reach advantage and all that stuff. He was getting hit with some really nasty kicks, and I think Hernandez will utilize that a little bit, but MJ still has pretty decent speed. He's got good boxing combos. He hasn't really changed that much since his prime. He'll jab to the body, duck his head down. He'll shoot that cross to the body. All of this to set up overhands up top, which can be KO shots. He will also shoot his cross and then follow with his lead hand to get his combinations kind of extended, and he can land big shots like that. I think in this fight, though, compared to Zellhuber and some of the other jobbers that he's beating, I think he's going to have a hard time getting exchanges out of Hernandez, because Hernandez has kind of become a guy at lightweight that moves around a lot. He's really moving around laterally. He's hard to pin down, and then he's lowered his output to maintain his pace over 3 rounds and land big shots. Like we've seen him land those kill shots on the back foot against Chase Hooper and Diego Ferreira. He's shown pretty good defense in both of those fights as well, and I think he'll do the same in this one. I think also being southpaw versus orthodox, and Hernandez switches stances a lot, but mainly it's orthodox versus southpaw. Michael Johnson's going to be chasing that left hand. He's going to overextend, and he's going to get caught with a big right hand. I've played these games before, dude. When Michael Johnson goes out there against Diego Ferreira, Josh Emmett, I know Hernandez doesn't hit as hard as those guys, but he can KO people. He goes out there, he starts to land that jab to the body, starts to set up that overhand. If he gets overly aggressive against a guy like Hernandez, who does move around a lot laterally and is hard to pin down, I think he's going to overextend. I think he's going to get countered. I think he's going to get KO'd, dude. I think that Alexander Hernandez is going to land that straight right in the second round. Like, I'm talking a classic MJ loss, where he starts out okay, but he's not rushing it, but he can't really pin down Hernandez. Hernandez is moving around, switching senses a lot. He gets a little bit overzealous, gets chinned with an overhand on the counter. That right hand's going to be there for Hernandez. I'm saying he wins this fight by round 2 or round 3 TKO. Let's move on to the main prelims, and the first fight that we want to talk about is Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Friend of the channel, Charles Johnson, dude. I know that I'm boys with Joshua Van now, but Charles Johnson follows me on Instagram, man. People forget, dude. And very forebodingly DM'd me, let's collab, and then never replied. So I don't know if he's plotting a fucking uppercut on me now, because I'm boys with Van. I don't know what he's planning, but I think he's going to win this fight, dude. I'm going to go with Charles Johnson by knockout. I think that this will start... The thing about Perez is he's actually pretty good. Like, I think Perez kind of gets a bad rap because he's had so many losses to high-level guys, because he goes inactive for so long. But I think he's pretty good, dude. He blitzes in really well. He also has really hard leg kicks that he chops. We've seen him get leg kick TKOs when he was on his run to get a title shot. And I think that early on, he's going to have success on the feet. I think Johnson will start out a little bit patient. And I can honestly see him even getting kind of clipped or dropped by Perez. We've seen him get dropped by guys like Azat Maxim. And Perez does have big power in the hands. He's got very solid boxing. I think that what this comes down to is Perez will mix in his wrestling, but I think Charles Johnson will do a good job defending those takedowns, especially if it's a traditional single or a double leg. When you're dealing with a tall flyweight like this, he has really good balance. And he can threaten with a front headlock. He can threaten with that guillotine choke. We've seen Perez get subbed in like basically every ranked fight he's ever fucking had. So there is a chance here for a Johnson submission. If I was feeling really crafty, I'd say, dude, Charles Johnson by sub. Trust me, bro. Bet the house on it. But I'm going to play it smart. And I'm going to say that Perez does not get subbed in this fight. But he does get threatened with those guillotine type of or ninja choke type of attempts when he's chasing takedowns. And he'll kind of end up more on the feet looking for a big shot. I think Perez, what happens with him so much that's going to be his downfall is he crashes into people and then clinches up and starts striking straight away when he's in close. And I think against a tall guy like this, I can see Johnson just putting him out bad with an uppercut, dude. Like as Perez kind of rushes in, Charles Johnson just sneaks an uppercut, puts him out bad. I could see a knee up the middle, something like that, or defends a takedown, circles off, boom, big uppercut, puts down Perez. And I think he's going to get stopped in this fight by KO with something like that because of the height difference, because of the way that he rushes into the clinch, the way that he's kind of chasing that takedown, but not fully. He kind of goes from the upper body. We've seen him get some nice takedowns from that upper body. I think out in the open, straight singles and doubles, he's going to get defended, maybe threatened with chokes. He's going to look more for that upper body, kind of Greco-Roman wrestling. And I think that on the break of those clinches, Charles Johnson's going to be landing nasty elbows. He's going to be looking to set up an uppercut against the shorter guy. He's going to be looking for a knee. I think something like that is going to catch Perez and put him out badly. Highlight reel KO for Charles Johnson on the prelims. Round 2 or round 3, in my opinion, dude. But yeah, it is what it is, bro. Let's move on to this fight. We've got Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas, I believe the kid's name is. A part of me wants to pick Krylov because he's taking a big jump down in competition. Like, he's coming from the GOAT Dominic Reyes and Bogdan Guskov, two certified top 10 light heavyweights, two very, very explosive, powerful guys. And now he's fighting Bukauskas, who is on a good win streak, but against kind of jobbers of the light heavyweight division. But I think the momentum for Krylov is so bad, and the momentum for Bukauskas is so good. I think I'm going to pick him to win this fight, dude. I think that Krylov, one problem that worries me is his chin is fucked, bro. Like, let's just say it like it is, dude. His chin is absolutely cooked at this point. So I think that he's going to come out very aggressively looking to grapple. And I could honestly see him getting a takedown to start the first round. But I think at some point, Bukauskas, being a big physical light heavyweight, light on his feet, quick, moving around, does well with that kicking range. His hands are kind of low. He's got that kind of that awkward style. He moves around really well. I think Krylov will be like forced to kind of strike with him a little bit and get over aggressive. And I think that Bukauskas will catch him bad and finish him. Not necessarily because I think Bukauskas is like that high level, but because I think Krylov's chin is just fucked. And I think that Bukauskas can keep things standing long enough to counter Krylov, hurt him on the feet, follow up for a TKO finish. I'm going to say Bukauskas by like round 2 TKO. Krylov gets a takedown early on. He does well, has a little bit of a weird scramble. And then back to the feet, Bukauskas just catches him, hurts him bad, gets the finish. And yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm not super confident, but I just feel like the trajectory of their careers, I got to pick Bukauskas, man. All right. Next fight on the prelims, we've got Atiba Gautier versus Andre Pulyaev. I'm sorry that I'm laughing, dude. I'm just remembering the fucking guy that Gautier fought in his last fight. Like, the thing with Gautier is he's genuinely had the fucking easiest path in UFC history, bro. This dude's last opponent genuinely just died from attempting a takedown, dude. He genuinely just died of fear mid-takedown attempt. Like, he didn't even get hit. I've rewatched this multiple times on some, like, JFK back and to the left. Like, I'm analyzing this shit frame by frame. This dude genuinely did not even get hit. He just dies mid-takedown, like his controller disconnected, and he just folds up against the fence. I don't think that is going to happen in this fight. But I also do not think Pulyaev is the guy to fraud check Atiba Gautier. He's not really a grappler. I think we're looking for a grappler that is confident on their feet. And this guy, he's mainly a striker. He's a long, lanky kickboxer. He seemed a little bit hesitant to engage with Christian Leroy Duncan walking him down, who's more of a decision type of guy. So I think against Gautier, he's going to be very gun shy. He's going to be defensive. I think he's going to try and wrestle. And again, I expect him to do better than the last guy who literally just fucking, it's like he got electrocuted or some shit mid-fight. I expect, honestly, I could see Gautier getting taken down early on or just smudged up against the fence. But I think one thing about Gautier, everything he throws is a fucking nuke, dude. He's going to break away at some point. He's going to land a bomb. And I think Pulyaev, he's going to be the type of guy that just shells up. As soon as Gautier gets away from a grappling exchange, or as soon as he pushes him back, I think Puliev's just going to shell up really defensively. And I think that Gautier is going to land a bomb, like maybe a lead uppercut, something like that. Because when this guy puts people against the fence, they just shell up and he just nukes them. There's nothing you can do about this guy's power. I think that we're going to see a Gautier round 2 knockout. I think it will make it out of the first round. Maybe he just nukes this guy straight away and he's better than I think. But I think Puliev's going to clinch him up. He's going to move around. He's not going to engage whatsoever on the feet. I think he will kind of extend this a little bit longer than Tristan Vines. Again, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry I have to say your name, but come on, dude. What were you doing? And then I think Gautier at some point will back him up. Pulyaev will shell up. Boom. Uppercut up the middle. Puts him out bad. Gets another TKO victory. Dana White creams his pants. That's my prediction, all right? Headlining the prelims, we've got Cousin Umar versus Davison Figueiredo. I'm picking Umar to win this fight by decision, dude. Now, the thing with Figueiredo is, like, he does have big power. He does have good jiu-jitsu. But he is, again, as always, at a fucking reach disadvantage, at a frame disadvantage. He's a former flyweight. Umar is a big bantamweight. And it's going to be really hard for him to land clean shots. I can see Umar just picking at him with oblique kicks, side kicks to the body, whipping up the head kicks. Just keeping Figueiredo defensive, keeping his hands up. And then boom, Umar drops down to the legs. And one thing about Umar is he just, as soon as he gets a hold of you, he's going straight to your back. We don't really see him get threatened with guillotines the same way we've seen like Khabib and Islam get threatened with these takedowns. So the way that they take people down, they are open to be guillotined. We don't really see that from Umar. So I don't expect that weapon to be there for Figueiredo. I don't see him catching Umar on a guillotine. I can honestly see Figueiredo trying to wrestle offensively and maybe getting a takedown of his own, but then getting reversed pretty quickly. And I think that eventually Umar's going to get on his back. He's so good at controlling people's back, dude. Like, he puts the hooks in so clean as well. He's like a little fucking spider climbing up people. One thing about this, though, is your legs are there. We saw Batista capitalize on this. He attempted a pretty nasty, like, leg lock. And I definitely think Figueiredo will do the same thing. But he got out-scrambled by Corey Sandhagen trying to roll for legs. He got beat up. He got put on his back. And I think in this fight, he's going to get out-scrambled. He's either going to get his back taken again and just get backpacked, or he's just going to end up on his back with Umar in full guard, landing little pitter-patter shots, maybe some nice elbows over the top, just racking up control time. I think Umar's just going to smudge this dude really badly. He's going to out-scramble him. He's going to have back control. He may threaten a submission at some point. Figueiredo is going to roll for a sub as well. He's going to look for a heel hook or something like that. Some sort of leg entanglement. Umar's going to survive it, start landing ground and pound, get on top, look for some elbows, do some damage. I think Umar is just going to win via just out-scrambling him, controlling him. I think on the feet, there will be some point, I've got this in all caps, Figueiredo will boom him with a flash knockdown. Like, I can definitely see him getting him with the same shit he got Cheeto with, where he just randomly locks in, lands a bomb, and drops him. But I think we've seen from Umar, when he gets dropped by BICKS, Imacan, and fucking Mario Blatisto, he does just lock in and get the takedown and get control. So I think most of this fight, Umar's going to be kicking at range, avoiding the boxing, mixing in takedowns, mixing in control time for a decision win. I think it's going to be 30-27, maybe a 29-28 scorecard for the round he gets dropped if he can't get enough control. But I think this is going to be a pretty clear Umar decision win. So my picks for the prelims, I've got Umar, I've got Atiba, I've got Bukauskas, I've got Charles Johnson, I've got Alexander Hernandez, I've got Denzel Freeman, Smotherman, and I've got Ty Miller, dude. Let's move on to the main card. First fight to talk about. We've got, I'm fighting James Silva, mate, be a good fight, probably gonna lose, be a good fight. I really want Arnold Allen to win this fight, dude. Like, I'm really rooting for Arnold Allen. I've really become a Gene Silva hater over the past couple of months. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. But there's no denying this guy's fucking really, really good, and I do think Gene Silva's gonna win this fight. I think he's gonna win by decision. I could see a KO, but I'll talk about that in a second. I think the reason people might be hesitant to pick Gene Silva is because he's coming off a loss, and he's still getting jumped up the division. He's going from ranked down below in the lower half of the top 15 to now fighting someone top 6. But I think stylistically, and the fact that Arnold Allen's coming off a huge layoff with some injuries, I think Silva's going to win this fight. I think he's going to be too sharp on the feet. I think he's going to land big counters against southpaw Arnold Allen, hurt him. I think he'll do well dealing with the grappling, and I think he's going to win a decision. I could see a KO, like I said, but my reasoning is Arnold Allen is very durable, and he's sharp as a striker, and I do think he's going to mix in takedowns. I think he's going to play it pretty smart for the most part. We've seen him, mix in takedowns pretty well against powerful strikers. But the biggest thing is, it's like southpaw versus orthodox. That does favor Gene Silva. We've seen him do really well against southpaw fighters. I think he's going to be blasting body kicks. I think he's going to be looking for that check hook. But I think Arnold Allen will be able to drop that left hand to the body. That's one thing he does really well against, opposite stance fighters. I think he'll land a nice head kick at some point. He's got his straight left down the middle. But I think that, because Gene Silva loves to plant his feet and brawl and just stand there in the pocket and just keep an exchange going because of how quick and how powerful he is, because he loves to get in there and scrap. There are openings there where if Arnold Allen makes him sit down in the pocket, he can get on a takedown, right? And I could definitely see that happening early on in the fight. I also feel like he's going to be able to land some nice straight lefts if he's sharp and he's on quickly, or that left hand to the body. But my thing is, bro, Gene Silva's pretty good, dude. Like, his takedown defense is really good. I don't think Arnold Allen's going to be able to just take him down and smudge him. And I think even if he does take down Gene Silva, we've seen him get back up pretty well because of how explosive he is. I also think that the opposite stances favors Gene Silva because of how many southpaws we've seen him just beat the fuck out of. Like, he can just, like, I'm just getting visions of the fucking elbows that he was landing on Drew Dober. I really worry for Arnold Allen because he can counter southpaws when they step in with really nasty elbows that cause a lot of damage. He has the check hook, which we saw against Melsik Bagdasaryan, against Bryce Mitchell, against Charles Jourdain. And I feel like he's going to be able to land that elbow when Arnold Allen's coming in. And I think he'll have close exchanges with Arnold Allen where it's like, okay, Arnold's quick, he's landing good shots. Okay, Gene Silva's firing back. I can definitely see like a sequence where Gene Silva goes for a head kick, Arnold Allen kind of blocks it, follows up, lands his own kicks. He's really good at doing that. But I think that these rounds will go to Gene Silva based on knockdowns or big moments that cause damage. Because Arnold Allen is quick, he's sharp, he's long, he's dangerous, he's really skillful, but I think Gene Silva is a lot more powerful and causes a lot more damage. And one thing that worries me is that Arnold Allen does blitz in with his lead hand down. We've seen him get countered for this by fucking Max Holloway. Even Dan Hooker caught him with a nasty check hook and kind of dropped him for a second. And Movsar Evloev was able to drop him with that jab as he was coming in. I think that Arnold Allen's going to do well. I think he's going to mix in some takedowns, but can't really get control or damage. Silva's going to make some reads. He's going to land some really nasty counters like the elbow, maybe the check hook, whatever it is. He's going to drop Arnold Allen once or twice in the fight, do some damage, win the fight based on that damage, based on the accurate counters against southpaws, which we know he's really good at. I do think Gene Silva's going to win this fight by decision, dude. Next fight that we've got Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. I actually think Rose will do okay in this fight, dude. I know that Silva just beat the shit out of Alexa Grasso, like pretty easily beat her. But I think that Rose Namajunas will do better than Grasso. Like, Grasso just cannot cut off the cage. She's just a little blockhead, just following you, just 1-1-2. That's basically it. I think Rose is going to land good kicks. I think she's going to switch stances more efficiently to cut off Silva against the fence. And I definitely feel she will do a better job mixing in takedowns. I could see also one thing with Rose Namajunas as well. She's got weird fluky power. I could definitely see her dropping Silva with like a flash check hook or fucking whipping up a head kick or something like that. Because, like, I was about to say Gene Silva. Natalia Silva, her hands are usually pretty low. She's definitely more of a kicker than a puncher. She's kind of like a Yair Rodriguez, but I don't think Rose is going to win. I think Silva's going to win. I don't think Rose will do enough. She's pretty low output. She's kind of moving around, fainting on some Corey Sandhagen shit. And I think that Natalia Silva's just going to be moving really well. She's going to be more quick. She's going to be more dynamic with her kicks. She's going to land big side kicks that push her away, chop leg kicks, get volume up, throw a big kick, follow up with punches after Rose dodges the initial kick. She'll follow up with punches. And I feel like she does have great physicality, defending takedowns, great movement, which will make it hard for Rose to pin her down. Even though I think she'll do a better job than Grasso, I feel like Rose Namajunas is at her best when someone is going after her. She's better on the back foot, countering, moving around, cutting angles. Whereas in this fight, I think she's going to have to be on the front foot. I think it's going to be a little bit boring at moments of Rose Namajunas just feinting, not wanting to get kicked, and Natalia Silva just moving around on the outside, feinting, throwing her own leg kicks. I think it'll be a close 29-28 decision, but Natalia Silva's going to win on, you know, some big kicks, kind of swing the round. You know, she does well enough to defend takedowns from Rose, kind of negates that aspect of her game, lands some little ton of WMMA kind of combos. Maybe gets caught at some point, but I think she'll survive and she'll win the decision as the younger, kind of fresher fighter in the division. Let's move on, Max. I'm fucking excited to talk about this dude. Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Derek Lewis, bro. Initially, I'm feeling, bro, Waldo Cortes-Acosta is about to put on a masterclass. But the more I've thought about this, the more I've watched the tape, I know a Derek Lewis fluke when I see one, dude. And this is going to be a fucking Derek Lewis fluke of the ages. I'm picking Derek Lewis round 1 knockout. I know that I just jinxed him to losing a boring smudge decision. I'm fully aware of that. But I don't care, dude. I feel like Derek Lewis wins this fight. I think that he actually has a big power advantage. And Waldo Cortes-Acosta, the things that he's good at, they work on like blobs with no talent, no skill whatsoever, except for the GOAT Shamil. He fluked that win over, you know, an elite fighter like Shamil Gaziev. And that maybe makes me want to pick him. But listen, bro. When he fights Derek Lewis, he is going to be on the back foot defensively. Like, I know that you never pick Derek Lewis. You just pick against him and then he flukes the guy that you picked. But I don't think Waldo is powerful enough on the feet to one-shot KO Derek Lewis. I don't think he has the grappling threat of a Jailton Almeida, a Daniel Cormier, even a Curtis Blades. And I know what you're saying, bro. Blades literally lost that fight, bro. What are you talking about? But his wrestling threat made his striking a lot easier for him. You could see Derek Lewis was just waiting because he was worried about the takedowns. And that allowed Blades to land good shots, piece him up a little bit. Then he genuinely got fluked. We've seen Waldo show pretty solid defense on the feet. He has good speed. He has good reflexes. He's a former pro boxer. He's a former athlete as well, baseball. So he is athletic. He's quick. He can move around well. He makes good reads. He defends decently well. He can tie people up in the clinch. He can get takedowns. We've seen him get takedowns. We've seen him blob these heavyweights that don't know how to wrestle. And I definitely think he will mix in wrestling in this fight. But I don't think he can hold down Derek Lewis. We've seen Derek Lewis get taken down. I understand that. But he does have this ability to just like, fuck you, I'm standing up. And I think on the feet, Waldo does have that fast twitch kind of counter ability. Moving, slipping, making reads. He does have a fast counter right hand. But he backs himself up a lot. He fights on the back foot a lot. Even in fights that he wins, he backs himself up to the cage, and he is there to be clipped. And I think in this fight, that's going to leave a big opening for a Derek Lewis KO. I think that Waldo is going to be moving around, emoting, jabbing him up, back himself up to the cage a little bit after a quick exchange where maybe he gets a takedown. Lewis gets back up. Waldo kind of gets a little bit more confident. He starts moving on the back foot. And I think up against the cage, Derek Lewis is just going to open up and bomb him bad and put him out. I think it's going to be an uppercut up against the fence or, you know, a big overhand right as Waldo tries to move his head a little bit and kind of roll with it. I think Lewis is just going to put a bomb on him, dude, and put him out. Waldo has more power. He's shown decent explosiveness to get up if he gets taken down. And I don't think Waldo has the power to one-shot KO him or the grappling skills to just smudge him. But again, it is Derek Lewis. So there's a very good chance he just shows up. Hey, my tummy was hurting. Just shows up, doesn't fight, does nothing, loses. There's a possibility here for that. I'm going to say Derek Lewis flukes a KO in round 1 or early round 2. All right. Let's move on to the co-main. Dude, imagine not picking Shug, dude. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was very nervous for Sean O'Malley before I did my tape study for this fight. I was thinking, dude, I have a bad feeling Song Yadong is gonna chin him. But I'm picking Sean O'Malley. I think he's gonna win by decision. I think that he is just too slick. He's too mobile. He moves around really well. And I think some of the narratives against him are a little bit overplayed. I think he has a good style to beat Song Yadong. I think he's a little bit more sophisticated on the feet. And the biggest thing for me is his footwork and his movement, man. Like, I think that Sean O'Malley's footwork and his movement, it's going to be hard for Song Yadong to track him down and land shots. In a lot of fights, Song Yadong, he's on the pressure. He's got the high guard similar to Yan, but he doesn't cut people off nearly as well as Petr Yan. He just follows them. He just follows and circles with them. And he struggles with guys like Jan, like Sandhagen. And I think in this fight as well with O'Malley, he struggles with guys that cut angles, people that use quick combinations up top and then attack the body because the high guard leaves him very open to the body. And he also ducks his head and shells up a lot defensively, which opens him up to body shots, uppercuts, knees up the middle, and I think even head kicks as well. I think O'Malley will do all of these things very well, especially as the fight builds. I can see Sean O'Malley starting to open up with combinations. He's going to finish with the head kick against the guard. Song Yadong kind of emotes, but doesn't really fire back, or he fires back 1 or 2 shots, and O'Malley's kind of out of there. And I think he's going to be able to make those reads similar to what he was doing against Jan and against Cheeto. When they shell up, he rips that knee up the middle once they duck under that right hand. I really feel like this is a matchup that favors Sean O'Malley. The biggest thing on the feet for Song Yadong is his counters. He's really powerful. We know that he has KO power. We know that he's super quick, probably just as quick as Petr Yan, maybe, you know, a little bit quicker than Sean O'Malley, but they're close, right? He has a really good ability to cover distance if he can track you down. We've seen he's really quick and powerful with the hands. He has good timing on counters. And if you step off in an angle and then you go back in a straight line, he can follow you, right? We've seen that he was able to do this really well against Corey Sandhagen a couple of times. Even against Petr Yan, he was landing some nice shots, just stepping through with that right and left and just following up. And I think he will land shots like this on Sean O'Malley. We know that Sean O'Malley likes to shoot that straight left, switch stances, and then kind of angle off in a straight line. I can definitely see Song Yadong kind of following him and landing big shots if he goes more than one at a time. But I think for the most part, he'll be missing, dude. I think that Song Yadong will be following O'Malley, getting hit with those front kicks, those body kicks. He's shelling up. He's going to look to counter the body shots. Maybe lands a few overhands or a nice left hook here and there. Maybe dips down for a body shot. We've seen Cheeto have some success with that. Same with Petr Yan. But I think as the fight goes on, O'Malley's going to make those reads. He's going to get comfortable. He's going to set up big body shots, knees up the middle, head kicks and stuff like that, and move around laterally and kind of let Song Yadong follow him and pull him into big shots, step off on those angles, avoid some big counters from Song Yadong. I think on the feet, O'Malley's going to be a little bit too much. I do think that Song Yadong will definitely mix in grappling. I know for a fact he's going to mix in the grappling, but we've seen Sean O'Malley, like this is where I believe like people kind of overplay the losses to Merab. The first fight was very competitive. Merab had a really good game plan in terms of mixing up his striking and his wrestling. The second fight, we saw Sean O'Malley defend takedowns pretty well for the most part. We've seen him show great takedown defense against the fence, especially against Jan, against Aljo, and even in moments against Merab, like I said. So I think in a 3-round fight, he's going to be able to defend takedowns from Song Yadong. I can see Song Yadong being explosive enough to take him down for a little bit, but I think Sean O'Malley will attack the 2-on-1. He'll get back up. He'll get back out into the open, find angles, shift off, keep circling, make Song follow him, make him miss a lot of his big shots, counter with those straight rights, switch stance, straight left, boom, step off on an angle, whip up a head kick, start attacking the body. And I think that Sean O'Malley is going to win this fight by decision. 29-28, maybe a 30-27. I think that this is actually a pretty good matchup for Sean O'Malley upon review, dude. All right. Let's move on to the main event. I've already made 2 videos about this, man. I'm not going to yap about it too much. I'm picking Justin Gaethje to win this fight. I'm feeling a Justin Gaethje TKO late round 2, round 3. I think in that kind of area. I honestly feel like it's either a Paddy Pimblett round 1 sub, like he just dominates Justin Gaethje and subs him, and we all go, holy fuck, this guy's actually way better. Or I think Justin Gaethje, as the fight goes on, is really going to start to pick at Paddy Pimblett with his boxing, because I think he has a huge advantage on the feet. I think he has pretty solid takedown defense if you actually rewatch a lot of the tape. His biggest weakness is the jiu-jitsu, just the submission defense, and that's where Paddy Pimblett's really dangerous. If he can get you down, he can get on top. He's really good at winning scrambles, causing damage with elbows, locking up submissions. But my biggest thing is Paddy Pimblett is not a traditional wrestler. We do not see him shooting takedowns, getting a hold of people, and then just dumping them. A lot of the times he has to kind of go through chaos to get into those exchanges. Michael Chandler picks him up, dumps him. Paddy reverses position. That's what leads to the win for him. He starts to wear him down, and then he gets a takedown later on after hurting him on the feet, right? Some of these other guys, Kazula Vargas fucking drops him, rushes into him for some reason trying to grapple, gets taken down with a nasty trip, right? Luigi Vendramini, same thing. Rocks Paddy Pimblett bad with a left hook and then runs into him for a takedown. And Paddy Pimblett's able to use that to kind of recover and then hurt him on the feet. I think it's going to be a fucking brawl. I think it's going to be super exciting, but I lean towards Justin Gaethje in a brawl. I think he has a big advantage in the boxing, especially in that close range where, again, Paddy needs to enter up into a clinch or, you know, to get a hold of him and jump those takedowns. And I think if Gaethje's prepared correctly, he's going to keep this fight in the center of the octagon. He's improved his footwork. He's improved his defense. His fundamentals are much better. He's a lot smarter the way that he fights. And I think he's going to be prepared to defend takedowns in the open. He's been preparing for this fight for a decent amount of time compared to someone like Fugitt, which was kind of short notice, switching opponents for him. We're seeing him train with Perez, which I think is a great comparison for Paddy Pimblett, a tall, skillful, grappling lightweight with very solid striking as well. And my biggest thing is we don't see takedowns in the open for Paddy Pimblett. He's going to tie you up and jump for a sub attempt or look for an outside trip, which could work well against Gaethje, but I think that Rufus is going to damage him really badly in the clinch with uppercuts, with overhands, and the left hook that we know that Paddy Pimblett is open to in a lot of exchanges. His hands come down, his chin goes up. That left hook is going to be there. We've seen it in the Jared Gordon fight. We've seen it even in the Michael Chandler fight, his best performance. That shot was there. And I think over the course of the fight, there's two ranges that these guys are going to operate on, mainly on the feet. I think Paddy Pimblett is going to keep it at kicking range. He's going to do well with body kicks. We've seen those be a weapon used really well against Gaethje. Head kicks are also there because of how he just ducks into shit. We've seen Fiziev and Max Holloway do really well. But I think that Gaethje will land hard calf kicks that kind of limit the movement of Paddy and make it harder for him to kind of push Gaethje back in those blitzes to set up takedowns. And I think as the fight goes on, we're going to see Gaethje just landing that jab, landing the left hook, eventually kind of stepping through right hand, left hook, similar to the Tony Ferguson fight where he just capitalizes on that defense and does enough damage to where it's kind of hard for Paddy Pimblett to get going offensively. And I think that Paddy Pimblett can land some good shots, but I feel like Gaethje's going to do more damage on the feet in that boxing range. I can see him kind of countering the jab of Paddy Pimblett, which is just kind of fencing with the chin up. I can see Gaethje ducking under, boom, uppercut, boom, right hand over the top. Then he slips out of the way of a combo. He has improved his head movement in that regard. I expect at some point, Paddy Pimblett will tie up with him and attempt to like jump a sub attempt or force a grappling exchange. But we've seen Gaethje deal with shit like this from even Fiziev in his last fight. We've seen him push off a takedown from Michael Chandler, get back up. We've seen him defend takedowns against Khabib early on. We've seen him get back up from a guard pull from Charles Oliveira. And the guys that have hurt Gaethje on the feet and make people think he's fucking washed, and all these guys that people are pointing to, I'm sorry, dude. Paddy Pimblett is not Max Holloway. He's not that quick on the feet. He's not going to make these insane reads of a spinning back kick when Gaethje ducks in for a punch. You know what I mean? Gaethje is so powerful. He's so dangerous on the feet. He is better than anyone that Paddy Pimblett's fought by a decent amount. I really believe that this is a huge jump for Paddy Pimblett, and I think he will have some big moments. I think the jumping knee for Paddy Pimblett will be there because of the way that Gaethje ducks down. I think that Paddy will land nice kicks, good long-range attacks, but when they get into that mid-range where he needs to box and where he needs to tie up in the clinch, I think he's going to get punished for his bad habits. I think his hands being down, he's going to get fucking cracked with the left hook. I think Gaethje's going to land his jab pretty easily. I think Gaethje's going to mix up those calf kicks at the end of combos as well. I think he's going to be able to find that left hook on Paddy's chin. And I'm interested to see if Paddy's chin holds up over 5 rounds. I could see a Gaethje win by decision, but I feel like Gaethje does have the power to hurt him bad enough to drop him. We've seen him get dropped pretty badly in some fights and on the regional scene as well. And I think that if Gaethje drops him, he's going to follow up with like a front headlock. Like I can definitely see this type of exchange being the end of the fight. Paddy Pimblett just gets nuked with a fucking left hook on the way in, gets dropped, tries to wrestle up. Gaethje just sprawls out on him, starts punching. Paddy doesn't really do anything. The ref stops it. Paddy kind of complains about it, but it is the end of the fight. I'm going to say we get a Gaethje round 2 or 3 KO. Like I said, I feel like the left hook will be there. I feel like that stepping in overhand will be there following with that left hook. And I think he's going to punish Paddy's bad habits on the feet. But this is a good fight, dude. If Paddy Pimblett wins this, I'm going to give him a lot of respect, dude, because this is a old but not necessarily washed Justin Gaethje, and that's also why I'm picking him, because I think that he's not as washed as maybe some people make him out to be for losing to Max Holloway. Again, I just think Max Holloway is a totally different level of striker than Paddy Pimblett. I think Paddy Pimblett has weapons to beat Justin Gaethje, but I also think he has a lot more weaknesses defensively than someone like Max Holloway, or even Dustin Poirier, or Khabib, you know, or Oliveira. These are the guys that have beat Justin Gaethje. I don't know if I put Paddy Pimblett in the same stylistic combo as those guys, or the same skill level combo as those guys, but hey, let me know your opinions in the comments down below. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know in the comment section, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I will be going live for this pay-per-view, so come hang out if you want to. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA, and I will see you guys in the next video, lads. Goodbye.